Cool. So we kinda do online podcasting on YouTube Live, and some students will join us. Some students will see the recording. And so, firstly, welcome to our YouTube channel. Thanks for joining. Thanks for your time. And we are also a community, a student community. We have around 10,000 college students. But I was inspired by seeing your pitch on the Shark Tank, like immense growth, and want to know the backstory. So it's for my personal growth also, and for some for the audience also.
Okay.
Just
Sure.
getting to the point, what connected your dots to Event Beep?
What
Any
connected?
backstory?
Mhm.
Yeah, what connected your dots? What was the backstory? What was the inspiration? How did the
Inspiration.
idea came from? What problem you saw?
Okay. I mean, the whole idea was, I mean, I've started pretty young, since I was 16, 17, getting into startups, doing a lot of practical activities. But the issue was, especially when I got into college, it was all donkey work. Teachers are asking us to copy paste assignments. They're asking us to just, you know, bung. Even if you're bung, there's nothing that we were learning. And I had seen the world in a very practical sense of things. But when the moment I entered college, it was all waste of time according to me. And I said, I don't want to waste time. And especially so many students are just doing the donkey work. And none of them, about 95% of students in the classrooms did not understand anything what is going on, and they're just copy pasting assignment, doing all the donkey work. So that's when I started initial a concept which was called a events ticketing platform, which was originally called as EventBeep. The idea was events and the notifications for events. So the whole idea and purpose behind it is get students out of the classrooms, get them to do something more practical and more in person. So that's when we started that particular platform, which was an events ticketing app, something like a Book My Show for college events. We did about 1.5 crores in GMV through that. Post that, we also onboarded roughly about 1.5 lakh students on that platform. So that typically got acquired. And then I had met more than 400 colleges since then, colleges, directors. And the whole idea that I saw was there's a stark gap between a tier one college like an IIT or a tier one campus ecosystem like an IM versus a tier two, tier three student. And what I typically saw is it's an event is not going to solve the problem. It has to be um, more often, and it has to be like an experience altogether rather than just one time event or any course that can solve anything. So that's what we built Beep, with the concept that let's focus on changing the lives of these students by providing them an ecosystem which replicates the tier one campus. Yeah, so that's how we started with Beep.
Can you elaborate how you are replicating that tier one campus?
Sure. So if you talk about a campus like an IIT, what do they have access to? They have access to top mentors, access to students from the best campuses altogether. So that's number one. Second is they have access to mentors, alumni who've built billions of dollars of businesses. They have literally built unicorns. They have people who've gone to Stanford, Harvard. They have access to internship job opportunities right from the first year of their campus. They don't need to worry about it. Then they have access to peers who are students who are really smart like them, and that's what's lacking. So with Beep, that's what exactly we're doing. Is we get mentors onto the platform. You have event sessions, one-on-one mentoring sessions. Second, you have access to all the peers, which is we have a community onto the platform. Then we have opportunities, which is job opportunities, internship opportunities from the best of startups and companies out there. So yeah, a whole ecosystem, and then we're gamifying it, giving them a guidance and a journey of how to get there. So yeah, that's overall in terms of the platform and how it looks like.
What do you mean by gamifying the platform? Like,
So we reward students for good behaviors. Let's say if you complete, we have quizzes, we have recordings of which is called beep bites, wherein you can watch what exactly does UI UX mean, what does product management mean. There are case studies. So once you solve them, you help other students on the platform, you're rewarded. You attend a particular course, you're rewarded. If you attend a particular mentor session and learn from it, you get rewarded. So for all the good behaviors and support, you're rewarded. And then you can redeem it for headphones, t-shirts, and a lot of goodies, which are there, which are from the partner companies that we have. Yeah.
Cool. So, what are those like partner companies who gave the
So we have
like?
Boat, we have Macmarize, we also have Bevaco. So a lot of merchandising companies partner with us. We have worked with more than 100 brands so far, including Gold Gym, Boat, HP, Geo. So these companies have some of the other freebies or products, merchandise that we list.
So, what is your way to earn? Like, do you take student money from students or money from fair?
So in terms of revenue model that you're asking, there are three ways that we monetize. One is we charge recruiters, because recruiters biggest problem is that I have a job opening but I don't find these qualified candidates. So that's one side, which is we have job portal, we have premium portal wherein you list their internship and job. We charge a subscription to companies. And then we have Entrepreneurship, wherein we provide training, mentorship,
Your video got stuck. Hmm. I'm not able to hear you, Saurabh. Uh, and
yeah, can you hear me?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, there was a power cut.
Cool.
Sorry for that.
Cool. You were talking about the revenue models.
Yeah, so that's one. Second is we have programs and courses on the platform. So whenever a particular student registers for any of the course program, we work with a lot of edtech partners, so companies like Upgrad, Growth School. So we work with them, wherein we share like a revenue, and it's more like a commission basis sort of model. And third, something that we have launched recently is Pro Plan, which is like a premium subscription, something like a LinkedIn premium of sorts. So these are the three models of how we monetize.
Uh, can we know a little about the premium subscription? What are the benefits a student will get if he or she buys your premium subscription?
Yeah, so we have something called as Career Pro, wherein you have, especially as for a student, the idea is the entire learning community. And I mean, students don't realize the value of it until they sort of start paying. And the whole hypothesis is that they actually start putting in efforts into their career once they get access to Career Pro. The whole idea is to get to your job, internship, and startup faster, accelerate that particular journey. How does that happen? One is, again, you have access to different premium features on the platform. There is one which is called placement reports. So wherein what happens is, whenever you apply for a job or internship, it's typically you don't know what's happening behind. So what we do is we provide a transparent picture of the recruiter, that the recruiter has hired out of 5,000 applications, shortlisted about 100 of them, and he or she has interviewed 20 of them, and if the recruiter has even seen your profile or not. So we provide like a transparent report of the entire application process. So that's one. Second is these students have access to exclusive premium communities with lesser number of students but more mentors, so more one-on-one experience. Third is we provide discount to the courses and programs that are listed. A 30 to 40% discount a premium subscriber would typically get in. Fourth is they have access to the learning portal, which is Beep Bytes, educational videos, how to earn money as a college student, how do you monetize part time as a college student. So yeah, those are some of the features. Then you also have access to live mentors and events. So yeah, that's what a premium
So,
subscriber is.
so we may have seen that a lot of Google, Microsoft, and Amazon employees, what they do is on for one-on-one mentorship, they charge a particular fee. Using we
Mhm.
have seen a lot of top mate links in their profile.
Right. Correct.
So you pay them that fee and they mentor one on one to the students. Is that like correct?
Majority of students or mentors who work with us work pro bono. They do not expect any profits or monetization when they work with us, specifically because they're here for the cause. And yeah, there is no sort of mentor. It's more like a community mentorship. You attend events and students get mentored through those events. So that's overall the prospect. There is no, let's say, like a top mentor, because what we have seen is students don't realize the value of one-on-one mentorship. They don't know if they need a mentorship. So mentorship is more like a vitamin pill, not like a painkiller. So they don't go out there looking for, I'm looking for a mentor. So again, that market in itself is not something that we are very looking forward to. In fact, we would like an AI version of a mentor who can give like a personalized guidance. But yeah, not something like a one-on-one mentorship is something that we feel students are also looking at. And obviously students need to have mentors, they need to have people who can guide them for sure. But the issue is they don't know that they need a mentor.
Hmm, cool. So how was your experience at Shark Tank, if I ask?
Shark Tank was amazing, it was fun. We did a lot of, I mean, practice before the pitch, and we didn't expect that we would, let's say, sort of get funded. We had gone out there again as college students looking to build our ideas per se. So yeah, overall, we didn't sort of expect ki we'll get funded. There was, again, it's all set life. How does set typically look like? So yeah, it was quite different.
Can we know the preparation you did before the pitch? Uh,
Before the pitch, I mean, the pitch was very different than what it came out at the last moment. Last moment, there were a lot of changes made by the Sony team. We had built like an entirely different pitch. We were like dancing on reels, popularly reels like Bachpan Ka Pyar and things like that,
hmm,
and it was very funny. Um, but then Sony said that you might not get the copyright for that music, so
hmm,
better to just sort of skip it. And that was told to us like an hour before the pitch, and we had practiced for something entirely different. So there was a lot of pressure before the pitch altogether. So the preparation was for something very, very different, and eventually we did. And I think overall, when you talk about preparation, it was more around 3 4. I've been watching Shark Tank for last 10 to 15 years, which is the US version. So I knew majority key what is it that is going to be asked, and so I was very prepared. So we had said like created like a questionnaire of about 50 questions and answered and practiced all of them. And I mean, majority of it, it's our business, it's like our blood and sweat, so we know it in and out. So that wasn't an issue. But yeah, we had prepared for all the sort of set of questions that sharks would ask, and it was pretty easy once we sort of got going. So yeah.
can we? So we know that you are watching, I think, the Shark Tank from your when you were 14 years old, maybe, if I'm right.
Yeah.
Can you share us some learnings which are essential for starting a startup as a college student?
One thing that I would really recommend is firstly watching US Shark Tank, because there are so many foundational business principles which, I mean, Shark Tank India is a lot of masala and drama, to be honest. Business learnings are also there, but those are like on a very a broader level. It's not deep, it's not insightful, specific to. There are, let's say, wherein we talk about CAC and but overall, when you look at business and especially Shark Tank US, you get an understanding of a lot of aspects, which is what are the different revenue streams, what are the different profit models, how platforms and technologies are built, how brands are built. So, although India is more like Shark Tank India is more like current and it's more relatable. But there's like a lot of depth with businesses that I've seen in US or with the US Shark Tank. So I think recommendation for someone who's starting out of college, number one would be get revenues. immediately. The moment you start the business, do not work on an idea wherein you're not getting revenues and profits. So, and that's the core principle of businesses altogether again. College students go with that sort of thought process and thinking ki funding चाहिए.
Hmm.
And to be honest, वो बस IITs and tier 1 college students को ही on idea basis मिल जाती है. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's overall. I mean, don't run behind funding. Set or build a business so good that investors come running behind you. And I did my mistakes. I had pitched to 100 different investors before us landing like a first round of funding. And that too, it was when I just got the traction, got app, build that website, got a lot of traction, and did a lot of efforts. मेहनत बहुत की. I think I would give like three suggestions. Number one is start building revenues and profits. Second would be network with the right people, do the right things. To be honest, like how would I go is like very say head on meeting people, investors, wo sab. I would suggest going route which can leverage you. For example, applying to Y Combinator, applying to incubators, accelerators, US based people who really understand college student startups, people who really appreciate college students building something revolutionary. So network and talk to those people rather than just like typical investors, or just angel investing. They might show you like a different direction altogether. So that's one. It will give a lot of leverage. Firstly, third I would give is more in terms of when you are sort of starting out. Um, Understand that it's a long term game. It is not 2 years, 3 years. Imagine कि 10 years of your life are gone. ठीक है, before 10 years nothing is going to happen. So if you're getting into it with the factor कि यार मजा पैसा आएगा, investment funding उठाएंगे, Shark Tank पे आएंगे, so don't start for those purposes. And especially now I say कि people dream of going to Shark Tank, कि company Shark Tank पे लेके जानी है. That should not be the dream. See, again, Shark Tank, it's more like a marketing and branding play. It's one of the
Hmm.
resources that is required for a startup. Startup is like a huge animal. It's just like a person. A person needs food to eat, needs people to meet, needs to work to earn money, like a typical child, and maybe get some fame so that his or her life is better. So that's one of the things which like a startup typically gets, which is it makes things better. Not for everyone. People who get roasted, criticized, for them it's like downfall. For them it is criticism, abuse on internet, and business does not do well. So it creates problems for them. So yeah, it's both ways. Again, Shark Tank is and all that publicity is like one resource for a startup.
Uh, so my next question would be like you said, start making revenue from day one.
Mm-hmm.
What will be your goals after 5 to 10 years? Like आपने बोला ना कि जो होगा वो 10 साल बाद ही होगा. तो what are you targeting that कि 10 साल बाद क्या होगा?
Matlab, typically there are like two, three things that a typical founder starts with. Number one is solving a particular problem. Second is financial and kuch, let's say, financial independence, getting an exit of sorts. Third is sort of building something jahan pe they themselves, again, why do you build a business and what's the definition of a business? And an entrepreneur is majority of the business should run all by itself. नहीं तो it becomes self employment. अगर आप खुद ही काम कर रहे हो and then company चल रही है, it is more like self employed या फिर agency चला रहे हो. So business becomes business once, even if you don't work, even if you're not in it, the company is running all by itself. Even if you go for like a year long vacation, it will still grow. That's what definition of a typical business would be. अब उसको अचीव करना, I think first, and it happens, let's say one by one, just I in the order that I mentioned. One is solving that problem. Now, issue is solving problem really takes time. Understanding, कि are we really? will people pay for it, just the product market fit. And उसमें ही some companies take 4 years, 5 years, 6 years just for product market fit, understanding, evaluating. उसके बाद then you don't have, especially for a college student, you don't have the experience of managing a team, building a team, scaling a team, managing finances, 100 more things apart from, let's say, the general day-to-day ops. So ये सीखना पड़ता है खुद से ही, or you get some people to work on it, or you can get funded and then have people do it for you. So that's the second level. Then you need to build scale. Now you need to grow, so you need to build for that. And then overall, when everything is stable, revenues are stable, 50 crore 100 crore कमा रहे हो साल का, now how can I get leadership in, how can automate the process, and then you can think of, let's say, exiting, IPO हो गया, or let's say a larger company sort of buys you, or it's running profitable, you can start something else now. And this can just sort of develop profits as such. So yeah, so to achieve that, it is going to take at least 10 years. Yeah.
ऑटोमेशन को अचीव करने में कि आपके बिना
Automation.
भी कंपनी चल रही है।
Correct.
कूल। तो इन द स्टार्टिंग यू सेड इन द स्टार्टिंग तो आपके पास एम्प्लॉयज नहीं होंगे, तो can we know how you got your co-founders? And because getting someone who is as much as passionate as you about the idea which you want to build is kind
Hmm.
of a little difficult. So can we know the
That's
story how?
sure. So initially when I started, it was different people. Initially तो मैंने खुद मेहनत की. Then looking at my efforts and how much I'm putting in, people joined hands. फिर मेरे friends आए बहुत सारे, 10-15 friends आए, वो बोले कि हाँ हाँ मैं भी company. And then it was like childish, मतलब at that time when we started, I was like very welcoming and very nice कि हाँ चल तू भी अच्छा, तू भी कर ले कंपनी में काम.
Hmm,
Like I was like, okay, open. But then none of them worked. काम किसी ने नहीं किया. Everyone had visiting cards, although managing director, vice president, CXOs कैसे उनके पास visiting cards and business cards थे, but किसी ने भी काम नहीं किया. So then I just focused. Then there were like 2-3 people who just worked really hard. And overall, then during events, I met Raki,
hmm,
wherein she was pitching her own startup idea, things like that. Then third, one of the mentors suggested that there's a tech company in Bangalore and they are doing something similar. Why don't you guys join hands? So we met and then we liked them as a people and persons. So then the three co-founders met. तो हाँ अलग अलग ways में. So यार मिलना could be like anything, but I think what is really important when you meet someone and if you know he or she is the right person, number one is character, how good of a person he or she is. Second, you look at, because कैरेक्टर आप सिखा नहीं सकते हो, इट डेवलप्स ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ 10-15 years, बचपन से आप सीखते हो. सो दैट्स नॉट समथिंग हाउ नाइस और हाउ काइंड द पर्सन विल बी, इवन इफ थिंग्स गो रॉन्ग, इवन इफ हमारी लगी पड़ी है, बहुत प्रेशर है, हाउ विल द सामने वाला पर्सन रिएक्ट, और इफ यू गेट लॉट ऑफ प्रॉफिट एंड एग्जिट, 100 crore कमा लिए, हाउ विल द पर्सन रिस्पॉन्ड, ही लाइक नहीं नहीं मैं लेके भाग जाऊंगा, क्रिएट प्रॉब्लम्स फॉर यू, थिंग्स लाइक. सो दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सेकंड इज पैशन, एफर्ट. 2 बार सोचता नहीं है या सोचती नहीं है टू गिव एफर्ट्स एंड पुट इन ऑल द वर्क. So just works hard. So super hard working person is minimum. And then third is skills. कि हाँ complementing skills है कि नहीं. But again, it's not compulsory because that is learnable over a period of time. I mean, you, especially as a founder, you need to learn a lot of things. So these are the 3 things that you should look out for minimum.
uh, when you entered the college तो एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप आपका डिसाइडेड था कि मुझे एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप करनी है या फिर जॉब का भी था कि आपको जॉब लेनी पड़ेगी?
Um, ऐसा था नहीं, मेरा तो प्लान था MBA स्टैनफोर्ड हार्वर्ड जाना. जब initially I had sort of started off, but then problems दिखे, बहुत सारे problems दिखे. Problems, I also tried to launch a college magazine, I also did an events company, I did a gifting company, I did this events ticketing app, then I did social networking app, ERP system, LMS system. So बहुत सारी चीजें किए. So those were like a result of problems, but पता था कि बनाना है business because I saw Shark Tank so many times. So I saw like there's one of the issues, difficulties, and then उस पे we started working on it. हाँ, but ऐसा था नहीं कि अभी start करना है business. So yeah.
So where are those projects or kind of X businesses which you started building, like which you named the EMS platform,
So
the
we
event
also
technology?
built like NGO, which is running well right now, which is more like nature and cleanliness awareness drives and most of के लिए. So there are volunteers, they're sort of working on it. And बाकी तो those are like college में किए हुए projects. And they shut down. I mean, gifting startup tha, so my best friends were like female best friends were like really good at making creative scrapbooks, creative diaries for girlfriends, boyfriends. तो फिर आई गॉट ऑल दी ऑर्डर्स कि हाँ ये कपल के लिए बर्थडे के लिए बनाना है बनवाना है. तो वो सब दे स्टार्टेड बिल्डिंग. मैंने बहुत सारे ऑर्डर्स लिए. अचानक बहुत सारे ऑर्डर्स आने के बाद दे वर लाइक कि नहीं, इतना टाइम नहीं है मेरे पास. It stopped.
Hmm.
So I think बहुत सारे initiative. College magazine पे we put like 6 months or 1 year in ideating, printing, putting content, data, so things like that.
Yeah, my question, dude.
Yeah. So that's something I started, and then it all मतलब सब बनाया हमने. मैगजीन का डेटा कंटेंट प्रिंट भी करवाए, पब्लिशर से जाके बात भी करवाई. सो सब रेडी. एंड देन कॉलेज में हम गए प्रिंसिपल के पास कि यार वी आर गोइंग टू प्रिंट दिस मैगजीन. ही सेड ये सब में मत करो. ही सेड कि जॉब्स नहीं है, इंटर्नशिप्स नहीं है. So I'll start this initiative so that we can get people from outside and eventually it will boost students' opportunity. ही सेड एग्जाम्स आ रही है, ये सब मत करो, बंद करो. वील हैंडल द जॉब इंटर्नशिप. तो हमने सच में बंद कर दिया, तो वो बंद हो गया. एंड देन या आई मीन वी डिड प्रिंट लाइक 2-3 कॉपीज, बट फिर वो सिर्फ हम लोग ने ही देखी, बाकी किसी ने देखा ही नहीं. सो हाँ, ऐसे बहुत सारे प्रोजेक्ट्स थे. मेजोरिटी ऑफ देम लाइक शट.
Uh, my next question would be, आप एक सपोज आपको प्रोजेक्ट बिल्ड करना है, सपोज बीप ऐप ही है, तो वो आपने कैसे अप्रोच किया? पहले आपको आइडिया आया होगा, देन यू कोडेड द ऐप योरसेल्फ.
तो मतलब मैंने तो बहुत सारी गलतियां की है. आई वुड सजेस्ट कि वो कैसे नहीं करते हैं. जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल हाँ, मतलब when I started with like my first app and web building project, it was more कि मैंने इवेंट से बहुत पैसा कमाया था, 8 से 10 लाख. And I had like capital when I was in college, first year, second year. And at that particular time, um, I'd said कि let's maybe outsource it. तो हमने एक कंपनी को दिया. They charged us 1.5 से 2 लाख. Events app था. Idea is कि you will get notification on different college fest events which happen around you. So that's how we started off. And हमने we ran a feedback form survey. वो बोले, सबने बोला, 1,000 लोगों का सर्वे किया. 999 students said yes, we would want such app, we will use it. देन हम कंपनी के पास गए एंड बोला कि बना के दो. दे सेड हम 4 लाख लेंगे. हमने बोला इतना नहीं है, 1-1.5 लाख देंगे. सो देन दे चार्ज अस 1-1.5 लाख. बिल्ट इट एंड वी लॉन्च्ड इवेंट्स उस पे बहुत सारे. एंड देन सॉ कि भाई कोई यूज ही नहीं कर रहा है. आई मीन दे यूज्ड इट वंस, नोबडी यूज्ड इट अगेन. एंड it was like a flop. I mean, kind of. So he spent so much money, and it was all worth. Nothing happened. Then we hired a group of interns to work on that project. Then we identified the way of how can we make it work and all of that. But I think before starting, we outsourced it to like a company, and then interns को लगवाया उस पे modifications and development करने, because the company took a long time to sort of just work on it and build it. It took us 3 to 6 months of waiting before we were able to do that. So that was an issue. But the next time that we did this, we didn't repeat the same mistake. Then next time we started with a WhatsApp group, a Discord channel. कि यार इस पे पहले बच्चों को लेके आते हैं. If there is like a demand, then we'll build that app. So next time we did that. We launched WhatsApp, we launched Discord community. उस पे अगर traction अच्छा है, पैसे देने लग गए लोग for the app. Then we built the app with an in-house team. So organically अच्छे से चला फिर वो. बट अगर इनिशियली पागले से इन्वेस्ट करोगे प्लेटफॉर्म बनाओगे तो इट्स जस्ट वेस्ट ऑफ टाइम.
कूल। तो आप अपने जो पिछला स्टार्टअप था इवेंट टिकटिंग प्लेटफॉर्म, आपने बोला कि उससे 9-10 लाख कमाए, तो आप उसका एक तो रेवेन्यू मॉडल शेयर कर सकते हो। एंड एंड वन मोर क्वेश्चन इज कि एक कॉलेज स्टूडेंट, सपोज जो कॉलेज स्टूडेंट्स है, वो कैसे इस तरीके के प्रोजेक्ट्स बना के कैसे अर्निंग स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं एज अ कॉलेज स्टूडेंट?
तो इनिशियली तो मैंने इवेंट्स कंपनी बनाई थी जो 10 लाख कमाए थे, विच वाज इवेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, विच इज हम लोग इवेंट्स ऑर्गेनाइज करते हैं, फुटबॉल टूर्नामेंट्स. एंड बेस्ट था पॉलिटिशियन के साथ करते. तो पॉलिटिशियन यूज टू डू ऑल द, क्या बोलते हैं, पैसा कॉस्ट सारा रिक्वायर्ड है, दैट दैट पॉलिटिशियन यूज टू डू. जिसमें होर्डिंग लगाओ, पोस्टर्स लगाओ, प्रिंटिंग करवाओ, मार्केटिंग करवाओ, उनका नाम आएगा ऑल दो. एंड वी आर लाइक ओके विद इट. एंड रजिस्ट्रेशन का सारा पैसा यूज टू कम टू अस. एंड वी वर लाइक वेरी क्लियर अबाउट दैट. एंड हाँ, उससे बहुत सारा पैसा आया. हमने कुछ 300 फुटबॉल की, एक फुटबॉल टूर्नामेंट करवाया, 300 फुटबॉल की टीम्स आई, उनसे रजिस्ट्रेशन फीस लिए, वो सारा प्रॉफिट हमारा. सेकेंड हमने क्या, हाँ मतलब बहुत सारे ऐसे इवेंट्स हमने ऑर्गेनाइज किए. देन हमने ट्रेनिंग्स भी किए, कोर्सेज करवाए. सो वी हैड इंटर्न्स एज आई टोल्ड यू. बट हमने देखा जो नए लोग आ रहे हैं उनको कुछ आता ही नहीं है. तो स्टार्टेड उसी इंटर्न को हम बोले कि काम करो, यू ओनली अर्न योर सैलरी एंड बाकी पैसा गिव इट टू अस. टेक अप द ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम्स, वी विल सेल इट एंड आप बस ट्रेनिंग करवा देंगे. तो दैट्स हाउ वी स्टार्टेड इनिशियली. उससे बहुत सारा पैसा आया. एंड इवेंट्स का टिकटिंग मॉडल वाज, we used to get a commission 1% 2%, built an app. जो जो इवेंट के लिए फीस होती थी, they used to pay through our platform, and we used to get 2 to 3% commission, but it was not like a sustainable revenue model. उससे कुछ कमाया नहीं हमने, इवेंट से कमाया. So if you own the events, if you did it yourself, then it made sense. नहीं तो नहीं.
कूल। तो उसका आइडिया कब आया था और उसका प्लेटफॉर्म आपने खुद बनाया, मतलब कोड किया?
इवेंट्स जो हमने क्रिएट किए, ऑफलाइन इवेंट्स है, फुटबॉल टूर्नामेंट, वो सब ऑर्गेनाइज करना, तो वो तो हमने खुद ही ऑर्गेनाइज करवाया. जो कोडेड, मतलब उसके बाद जो हमने प्लेटफॉर्म बनाया कि सारे इवेंट्स के लिए हम प्लेटफॉर्म बनाएंगे, दैट वी एजेंसी से करवाया, थर्ड पार्टी से करवाया. एंड आई यूज टू कोड, मुझे आती है कोडिंग, नो कोड, वेक्स एंड HTML CSS, वो सब आई यूज टू. बट मैंने बोला इतना टाइम नहीं है फॉर मी टू लर्न इट एंड देन कोड इट माई सेल्फ. एंड आई माइट जस्ट रादर गेट समवन टू डू इट. तो
उसकी इनिशियल इन्वेस्टमेंट लाइक किसने, कहाँ से हुई?
वही इवेंट्स करवा के 8 से 9 लाख वो इवेंट से आए. इवेंट से हमने फिर एजेंसी के पास गए, फिर उनसे ऐप वेबसाइट बनाई.
कूल। तो एनी इंस्पिरेशन लाइक एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में आप किन से इंस्पिरेशन लेते हो, किन से सीखते हो उस लोग?
सीखता हूँ. आई मीन आई इट्स लाइक यू आर लर्निंग 24/7 फ्रॉम hundreds of people out there. Inspiration, to be honest, is like my dad and mom only. Like they've helped me. They've had their own set of small businesses, real estate, computer sales services, repairs, interior designing. So learned and got inspired from them, and I learn from people in terms of business and entrepreneurship. But I don't, ऐसा कोई रोल मॉडल नहीं है कि इसके जैसा बनना है. बनना है तो सौरभ जैसा बनना है. And yeah, that's how I look at. It's not. I mean, I follow genuinely, especially when I was building 3 4 people that really helped me shape myself, which were like Brian Tracy is one of the authors. Then there's Richard Branson from Virgin Company. Mark Cuban from Shark Tank US is another like a inspiration. And बाकी तो that's how मैं बड़ा हुआ हूँ. Like when I was 14 15, तब से I've been watching them and reading their stories and businesses. So yeah.
कूल। तो नेक्स्ट एक्सपेक्ट विच आई स्ट्रगल विद, या फिर मोस्ट ऑफ द स्टूडेंट कम्युनिटीज वी हैव सीन लाइक ऑन व्हाट्सएप एंड डिस्कॉर्ड, मैं अपने आसपास बहुत सारी स्टूडेंट कम्युनिटीज देखता हूँ, इवन आई हैव अ व्हाट्सएप कम्युनिटी। तो
Mm-hmm.
व्हाट वी पीपल स्ट्रगल विद इज मार्केटिंग। लाइक, तो आपने जैसे बोला कि स्टार्टिंग में आपने एक पॉलिटिशियंस के लिए आपने इवेंट्स किए, देन यू
Hmm.
सेड लाइक हमने अराउंड 5,000 बोला आपने, या अभी भी जैसे बी पैप पे यू सेड 5,000 और 500 डायरेक्टर से मैं मिला। तो हाउ डू
Hmm.
यू नेटवर्क विद दिस पीपल?
Hacks है, you need to like again सब जुगाड़ होता है. So how do you get that जुगाड़? That's something that you need to figure out. But I think overall it's like more like foundational. Um, like just to give you a perspective, so perspective that was bombarded onto me through me watching audiobooks and books reading at that time, and that's why I developed that mindset. So which is कि यार you are a very creative person. Everyone is creative. Everyone has brains. It's more about कौन यूज करता है कौन नहीं. ठीक है, सबके पास सेम ही चीज है. सेकेंड थिंग दैट वाज टॉट इज एवरीथिंग इज लर्नेबल. हर चीज सीखी जा सकती है, especially business skills, market, everything is learnable. No, you have no limitations at all. And about creativity, ki your brain is so amazing. It has ability to come up with ideas that nobody can even think of. Everyone's brain. It just that it's just like muscle. जब आप जिम जाते हो करते हो तो बढ़ जाता है, नहीं करते हो तो नहीं बढ़ता. As simple as that. So when I started off, I started with couple of exercises, brain exercises, which is कि कोई भी problem आता है अगर मेरे सामने, any issue, any difficulty, maybe how will I market this particular event. So the idea states you have to write 20 different ways of how will you market it on your diary. Write the title of the page saying ki how will I, let's say, get this event promoted across the country, example. And then you have to write come up with 20 solutions minimum. तब तक रुकना ही नहीं है जब तक 20 नहीं आते. So जब मैंने पहले किया 5 इजीली आ गए. 8-10 के लिए थोड़ी मेहनत करनी पड़ी. 15 तो वाज लाइक वेरी हार्ड टू इमेजिन. दिमाग लगाना पड़ा कि क्या कर सकते. द लास्ट 5 वर लाइक द मोस्ट डिफिकल्ट. इट टुक मी लाइक 45 minutes, 1 hour to just think of what could the last 4-5 be. And I repeated that every time any issue or problem came in. The moment I started doing it, my brain gets popped up with new ideas now. अब जब से मैंने वो डेवलप किया है, वो लिखना 20 लेके आने, अब मैं 30 लिखता हूँ, so that my brain gets more exercise. So now it has built me in such a fashion कि मेरे पास आइडियाज खुद से ही आ जाते हैं. आई मीन आई जस्ट कम अप विथ न्यू आइडियाज एंड इनोवेटिव आइडियाज. So that's, I think, one is foundational. You need to develop your brain to sort of generate and build those ideas and understand कि you are capable of generating revolutionary things and thinking hard. It just कि उसको use करना पड़ेगा to find out. अब there are thousands of ways of how you can do it. Strategies, hacks, audiobooks, PDFs, लोगों के ऐसे guide and playbook ऐसे मिल जाते हैं of how you can do it. So those are one. But I think when you're starting foundationally, अपने पे भरोसा रखो एंड कि तुम्हारा ब्रेन बहुत सही आइडियाज डेवलप कर सकता है. एंड स्टार्ट डूइंग दैट फाउंडेशनल वर्क. एंड डोंट गो इनटू जस्ट गोइंग बिहाइंड लोगों के दिए हुए हैक्स एंड शॉर्टकट्स. इट विल जस्ट टेक यू सो फार. एंड सच बताओ तो अगर रेवोल्यूशनरी कुछ बनाना है तो वो बस कॉपी कर गया कोई बना के नहीं होने वाला. तुम्हें खुद वैसा बनना पड़ेगा. So start there, which is working, making your brain work harder, and it will generate ideas for you.
कूल। एक और चीज जो मेरे क्वेश्चन आई थी कि जैसे यू डू जॉब थिंग, लाइक यू प्रोवाइड जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज एंड यू
Mm-hmm.
चार्ज रिक्रूटर्स फॉर दैट।
Mm-hmm.
See, there are a lot of platforms like Naukri, Indeed, and maybe LinkedIn also, in which the recruiters can post jobs. What is the differentiator that recruiter pay you for hiring students?
Correct. So when you post on LinkedIn, Naukri as a recruiter, especially, I mean, we are focused with two areas, interns and freshers. ठीक है, जब आप उस पर पोस्ट करते हो आपको 10,000 5,000 एप्लीकेशन आते हैं नौकरी लिंक्डइन पे, एंड इट बिकम्स एक्सट्रीमली डिफिकल्ट, भाई किसको सिलेक्ट करें अब। वी डोंट हैव एनी वे टू, एंड स्पेशली किसी को भी एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है तो कौन से बेसिस पर जज करें। लिंक्डइन पे तो लोग वही प्रोफाइल डालते हैं अपनी, कि एजुकेशन, वर्क, प्रोजेक्ट्स एंड हेडलाइन एंड इमेज, यही चीज़ें होती हैं, उनके ऊपर उनको कॉल करना पड़ता है। दे नीड टू इंटरव्यू सो मेनी कैंडिडेट्स, और वो भी कोई कौन सा बंदा या कैंडिडेट अच्छा दिख रहा है उसके बेसिस पे जज करेंगे वो लोग, कि अच्छा आई विल कॉल दिस पर्सन एंड आई विल नॉट कॉल दिस पर्सन, जस्ट बिकॉज ये कोई धारावी या कोई अलग गांव से आया है, आई विल नॉट कॉल दिस पर्सन जस्ट बिकॉज ही इज फ्रॉम मुंबई, आई एम गोइंग टू इंटरव्यू हिम। So very biased and manual process. They need to do hundreds and thousands of interview calls overall, just to sort of get to those. And especially freshers hiring is so difficult now. With our platform we have a lot of data points about students, ki who is disciplined, who is skilled at what areas, who has completed some course certification through us, who has, let's say, been to so many mentorship events and is specifically interested. We have like an AI tool which also checks your communication score. That's one of the biggest issues which recruiters face. So our goal is कि we give so many data points out of the 1,000 applications that the company receives. We do automation calls and we give them top three candidates that they can hire tomorrow, and कल उनको लेके चालू कर सकते हो. So yeah, that's how we're looking to differentiate.
वन मोर क्वेश्चन राइजेस इज, आपने बोला कि पॉइंट्स है डिसिप्लिन के। सी,
Mm-hmm.
जो सर्टिफिकेशंस हैं वो, आई थिंक देयर आर अ लॉट ऑफ फेक वंस राइट नाउ गोइंग
Mm-hmm.
ऑन। एंड हाउ डू यू डिटेक्ट डिसिप्लिन कि लाइक ये कैंडिडेट डिसिप्लिन है, ये कैंडिडेट हार्ड वर्किंग है, हाउ डू यू रेट?
So there are different metrics to it. What we have specifically is badges, different skill sets. So there's an entire algorithm behind it, which we used on the platform. So yeah, it's like a combination of different data points, the discipline thing. If you check in on the platform daily and you learn something fruitful, then you get a badge. There is like a case study. So case study, if you solve it perfectly and using AI will analyze your response and answer, you need to speak it out. तो उसके basis पे we give you and give you like a score. So there are different algorithms and mechanisms that we are using to sort of rate it.
कूल। तो एनीथिंग, दोबारा से शार्क टैंक पे अगर हम आए तो कैन यू टेल अस द थ्री थिंग्स यू लव्ड एंड द थ्री थिंग्स यू हेटेड अबाउट द शार्क टैंक?
Three things that I loved. The experience was amazing. I met so many other startup founders at Shark Tank, so that was lovely. And we developed like a good relation and connection. The publicity was amazing. I mean, we got like 2 lakh users through Shark Tank. The sharks are amazing. Gave like right guidance, advice. They've built companies which are so huge, and that's all are amazing. Didn't like, to be honest, ऐसा कुछ है नहीं. Didn't like. Maybe not like a favorite of, maybe things that, let's say, the audience and students need to be aware is कि जो मतलब sharks typically, and I've heard some experiences, so many experiences now from other, and we have a community of all the Shark Tank founders. There's like a community and then we talk and we know everyone's stories. is कि वो लोग जो स्क्रीन ऑन स्क्रीन शार्क्स जो कमिटमेंट्स करते हैं कि हम ये करेंगे वो करेंगे ऐसा बनाएंगे वैसा करेंगे, लेट्स डू दिस लेट्स डू दैट, वो कुछ नहीं होता है. Eventually you have to build, they'll just do one thing which is give you the money, that's it. उसके अलावा कुछ नहीं होता, even if majority times पैसा भी नहीं मिलता है because of issues from both the sides. So that's one thing that people should be wary of, especially the promises that are being done on screen, which is more like to make it cool and fun, but in reality इतना कुछ नहीं होता.
तो
So
अश्नीरी
that's
जैसे
one.
बोलते हैं कि किसी के पास कोई टाइम नहीं होगा आपके लिए, जस्ट
हाँ,
पैसा देगा, एंड यू हैव टू बिल्ड योर बिजनेस ऑन योर ओन, नो वन इज गोइंग टू
वही
मेक
होता
इट फॉर यू।
वही होता है. या they'll help you like if you ask for advice. And अब तो इशू ये हो गया कि उनके पास इतने सारे कंपनीज है, they don't have time to go and they typically would go to some like a superstar company, जिससे publicity होगी. So, and it's difficult to manage so many company and start a founders and they need help and so many commitments that have been made on set. So वो थोड़ा issue बन जाता है. That's I think one thing that founders and startups should be wary of कि what is said on screen does not really happen.
Okay, so one question I have from in the community space, students retain आप कैसे करते हो? Like we want to know कि एक स्टूडेंट आ गया आपके प्लेटफॉर्म पे, तो वो व्हाट अप्रोच यू डू यू फॉलो दैट वो स्टूडेंट है वो रोज आए या मे बी वीकली आए आपके पास दोबारा आपके प्लेटफॉर्म पे.
Um, we are not focusing on that. हमारा गोल है कि we are not looking for engagement as much. A metric which is because again it's more like a ecosystem we are developing in such a way कि we provide resources. ठीक है, we'll give all the community learning and material. We'll give you all the support on the platform. It's up to you to use it or not. Internship jobs के लिए आप apply करो, वो तो people do whenever there's new opening like aggressively. One person also like apply to 100 200 jobs in internship on the platform. So both aggressively they do any which way whenever there are new openings. So we don't need to retain them for it because they make money from it. They earn money. So that's one. Second is second part is just a minute. Yeah. Sorry. So मैं बोल क्या
सो
रहा था?
फर्स्ट तो ये हो गया कि सबको इंटर्नशिप पर जॉब चाहिए, तो जैसे ही कोई न्यू
हाँ,
ओपनिंग यू पोस्ट तो उस पे एग्रेसिवली आते
करेक्ट.
हैं बच्चे.
Second, we have like a premium subscription जहाँ पे if you want to access that learning community, you pay. ठीक है, once you pay, then it's up to you to sort of use it or not. It's मतलब that's our job. And then third is recruiter side. पे recruiter side पे they get the best candidates and find the best students and openings, and then we recommend them basis when they do our programs. Once they are a pro user, we will recommend them to the recruiter basis on the different data points that we collect. So no, that's our job, and we just focus on those areas, which is how can we give more value to the student through the platform, and that's about it. So we don't worry about
एंड
retention and engagement.
रिटेंशन तो आई थिंक हो ही जाती है जब आपका कंटेंट अच्छा है एंड व्हेन यू आर
Mm.
रिपीटेडली ऑफरिंग जॉब्स एंड इंटर्नशिप.
Correct.
अब बात आती है कि व्हेन यू हैव टू ऑनबोर्ड न्यू यूजर्स लाइक कंट्री वाइड.
Hmm.
आई थिंक यू हैव मेंशन्ड दैट आपके पास 5 lakhs ऑफ यूजर्स हैं ऐप पे. सो
Hmm.
व्हाट थिंग्स यू आर डूइंग और यू डू एवरी डे to keep getting more and more colleges and keep and getting more and more users on your
तो हम लोग
platform.
कॉलेज पार्टनरशिप्स करते हैं, बट अ लॉट ऑफ स्पेशली लास्ट मंथ 30-40 हज़ार यूजर्स एवरी मंथ तो ऑर्गेनिकली आ जाते हैं. We don't need to do anything to get users. Word of mouth, SEO, ASO. तो जैसे ही वो लोग इंटर्नशिप जॉब देखते हैं स्टूडेंट तो खुद से ही आने लग जाते हैं. Second is we do a lot of campus ambassadors. So in campuses, colleges, WhatsApp, SMS, email marketing. That should majority we haven't gone all in with growth so far. जो भी यूजर्स आए 5 लाख, those have been organic and inbound. Shark Tank से आए, उसके visibility से आए. So that has been the channel for new users for us so far.
Like एक बार तो Shark Tank से आगे. What you were doing to get user before the Shark Tank? Like how was the process?
जब हमने स्टार्ट किया हम कॉलेजेस में जाते थे वन बाय वन एंड बोलते थे यूजर्स को ऐप डाउनलोड करने. सो मैन्युअली स्टार्ट किया पहले तो, फिर कॉलेज इवेंट से टाई अप किया, वो लोगों ने हमारा ऐप प्रमोट किया, कॉलेज से टाई अप किया, दे प्रमोटेड आवर ऐप. इफ दे वांटेड टू रजिस्टर फॉर एन इवेंट दे हैड टू यूज आवर ऐप. सो थिंग्स लाइक दैट हैपेंड एंड हाँ, उससे इट स्टार्टेड इनिशियली द फ्लाई व्हील. कॉलेज पार्टनरशिप्स, ऑन ग्राउंड जाके लोगों को ऐप डाउनलोड करने बोलना, इवेंट्स के साथ
Hmm,
पार्टनरशिप, इट स्टार्टेड द
hmm,
फ्लाई व्हील. उससे 70,000 यूजर्स ऑर्गेनिकली आ गए. फिर हम शार्क
हम्म,
टैंक पे गए, 2 लाख और यूजर्स आए, एंड देन उसके बाद से ऑर्गेनिकली यूजर्स 30-40 हज़ार यूजर्स पर मंथ आ ही जाते हैं। तो एक साल में 3 लाख यूजर्स कम ऑन द प्लेटफॉर्म एनीवे।
अब एक और चीज, जैसे शार्क टैंक के बाद यू सेड 2 लाख यूजर्स ऑर्गेनिकली आ गए, was there any challenge to manage such a big growth in the platform, in the user base? क्या कुछ मैनेज करने में कुछ challenges आए थे?
या डेफिनेटली,
और या कैन यू शेयर इट?
डेफिनेटली बिकॉज हमारा प्लेटफॉर्म बंद हो गया था। The platform got shut and servers were down, so we had to work overnight to get it up, and yeah, that was challenging.
लाइक फिर क्या किया, मतलब जैसे मे बी सम बैक एंड होगा तो उसको।
दिन रात भर बैठ के टेक टीम ने बैकएंड ठीक किया, क्या क्या वो AWS में एडजस्टमेंट से वो किए, एंड कोड कर रहे थे पूरा रात टू मेक श्योर दैट कुछ ब्रेक ना हो, फीचर्स अच्छे से चल रहे हैं, इंश्योर करे कुछ भी ब्रेक के जा रहे तो देर वर्किंग ऑन इट, कुछ फट रहे तो उस पर पैच करके उसको अपडेट कर रहे हैं। सो दे वर डूइंग दैट ऑल नाइट, एंड वी आर पोस्टिंग मोर इवेंट्स एंड मेंटरशिप सेशंस एंड वो सारी चीजें कर रहे थे रात भर हम लोग।
एक और चीज मैं पूछना चाहूंगा कि
हाँ हाँ।
एक तो बीप ऐप को आप जो 5 से 10 साल में कहाँ पे देखते हो, राइट राइट विजन नेक्स्ट 5 to 10 years?
मतलब we are going, I mean, we are looking to take this international, and we are trying to change the way college students spend their time in campuses and how they are learning and working. So that's what overall we are trying to change. And I mean, in terms of users, we are looking to onboard at least 10 million users in the next 3 years. We are looking to change lives of these 10 million students, onboard another 20,000 colleges all across the world. So those are some milestones and metrics. If you want to make this to a 100 CR annual revenue company in the next 3 years, yeah, that's where we are heading.
कूल। तो टीम मैनेजमेंट में कुछ challenges आते हैं, लाइक हाउ डू यू मैनेज टीम, एनी टिप्स ऑन दैट?
Difficult, eh? I mean, now we are at a point जहाँ पे we have like a really good team and passionately working, but so far sort of building बहुत ज़्यादा challenge है, especially I mean the biggest challenge I would say कहीं आए तो वो team बनाने में, because I didn't know how good of a teams are, how good talent is, तो वो सब figure out करना पड़ा, लोगों ने धोखे दिए, advantages लिए, काम नहीं किया, ब्लैकमेलिंग की, तो ऐसे बहुत सारे इंसिडेंसेस केसेस बीच में छोड़ के चले गए, कोड उठा के चले गए, प्लेटफॉर्म बंद करके चले गए, सो देयर हैव बीन लाइक सो मेनी
अच्छा।
इंस्टेंसेस एंड वी हैव लर्नड थिंग्स लाइक द हार्ड वे। So yeah, team management has been one of the most critical things. The reason I think it also took so long is the journey to sort of manage and build teams. It's difficult, and the quality of talent available, especially us being in Pune, it's very difficult to find like a startup and wo mindset of hard work and like just going all in. That's very difficult to find here. हमें लोगों को लेके आना पड़ता है बॉम्बे, गुड़गांव, बैंगलोर से।
तो वो क्या क्या व्हाट आर द मेट्रिक्स यू सी while hiring a candidate, या फिर कैसे लेके आते हो इन बड़ी सिटीज से?
What are the things that I see now is hunger, number one. Again, good person, that is like bare minimum. Second is the hunger. Ethics देखते हैं हम थोड़ा अब with so many experiences कि भाई ethical है कि नहीं इंसान. uh, Hunger to like be someone better and bigger, so aspirational होना चाहिए, and efforts. We want to see people who have done great things in life so far or want to, um, is hardworking. Those are typical things, and then depends on which role we are hiring for, skill sets देखते हैं. So 2-3 questions that I ask. One is if they're passionate about their role, and हम थोड़े tricky questions पूछते हैं. We don't ask like straightforward. For example, um, I'll ask you, ठीक है? So let's say if I give you 10 crores in lottery today, tax free, ठीक है? What are the things that you would do? क्या करोगे 10 करोड़?
मेरे से पूछ रहे हो?
हाँ, आपसे पूछ।
नहीं पता। मे
तो
बी कुछ तो मैं इन्वेस्ट करूंगा कि आई एम स्टार्टअप गाय, तो कुछ तो मैं इन्वेस्ट करूंगा ऑब्वियसली, बट वाइजली इन्वेस्ट करूंगा, एकदम सारा नहीं फूकूंगा, आई वुड से।
हम्म,
हाँ, ये है। बाकी इफ आई गेट एज अर्निंग तो मे बी घर लूंगा,
नहीं,
एक गाड़ी भी
वन
लूंगा।
टाइम, हाँ। अर्निंग तो घर,
अच्छा,
गाड़ी।
एक बार में उड़ाना है मतलब।
नहीं, ऐसे नहीं। एक बार में दस
हाँ,
करोड़ मिल गए, क्या करोगे उसका?
हाँ, फर्स्ट इज
घर
इन्वेस्टिंग
लोगे?
ऑन स्टार्टअप, ऑब्वियसली बात है। द सेकंड मैंने आपको बताया घर,
ठीक है।
एंड द थर्ड वुड बी गाड़ी भी होगा एक, मेनली यही होगा।
ठीक
दीज
है।
आर द मेजर थिंग्स आई वुड से, इन्हीं में बहुत
Okay.
बहुत
And how
मेजर
will your
पोर्शन
life
जाएगा।
change? Like, what would your lifestyle look like? What would you do on a day-to-day basis? मतलब फिर कैसे जिंदगी कैसी दिखेगी तुम्हारी 10 करोड़ मिलने के बाद?
वेला तो नहीं बैठूंगा, आई वुड, आई एज अ पर्सन, मैं एक जॉब इंटरव्यू, तो पता नहीं मैं जॉब इंटरव्यू अगर दे रहा हूँ तो इस क्वेश्चन का आंसर अलग से दूंगा, बट एज आई ओरिजिनली
ऐसे
एज अ पर्सन, हाँ, एज अ पर्सन मैं काम ही करूंगा, मतलब ऑब्वियसली आई वुड वर्क मे बी 8 10 15 आवर्स, जितना भी कर सकता हूँ
क्या
पर डे,
क्या काम कर?
इन
What
इन इन बिल्डिंग।
exactly? What work? I
व्हाट
mean,
एग्जैक्टली?
like a building construction, क्या करोगे? Even if you have 10 crores, so what would you build?
सबसे पहले तो टू बी फ्रैंक, आपका और मेरा जो काइंड ऑफ मे बी बिजनेस कह सकते हो, स्टार्टअप कह सकते हो, इज काइंड ऑफ सिमिलर, जिसमें मैं भी बहुत चीजों की डिफिकल्टी फेस कर रहा हूँ, लाइक इफ आई टेल यू
Hmm.
माय स्टोरी, तो हमने स्टार्ट किया था एज अ कॉलेज क्लब इन
Hmm.
2021, maybe in October 2021 we started a college club. The name was AR Club.
Okay.
So the
Hmm.
purpose was to lure students to swags. There are a few companies around me, uh,
Hmm.
जिनके फाउंडर या को फाउंडर से मैं लिंकअप हुआ। दे वर प्रोमोटिंग मे बी स्पार्क या स्नैप AR के इनिशिएटिव्स, जो मेटा के एंड इवन माइक्रोसॉफ्ट के डेवलपर कम्युनिटी। तो दीज जो बिग टेक जायंट्स हैं, ये अपने मार्केटिंग के लिए स्वैग्स डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करते हैं, अपने इनिशिएटिव्स को प्रमोट करने के लिए। तो सो बेसिकली हम भी बच्चे थे काइंड ऑफ से, तो हमको भी स्वैग्स अट्रैक्ट करते थे। इवन एज अ इवेंट ऑर्गेनाइजर्स, जब हम ऐसे इवेंट्स ऑर्गेनाइज करते थे जिसमें बच्चों को स्वैग्स मिलते थे, वी गेट अ ह्यूज पार्टिसिपेशन, आई वुड से ह्यूज पार्टिसिपेशन in one event only, which was by Facebook. In our first event only, we got 800 participation from a tier 3 college. Like जिस बच्चे ने एक लैपटॉप उठाया भी नहीं था ना, उसने भी लैपटॉप उठा के हमारे इंस्टीट्यूट में पार्ट लिया, रजिस्टर किया एंड सबमिट किया, जस्ट टू गेट अ फेसबुक का सर्टिफिकेट एंड फेसबुक का बैग। तो दिस इज, ये आज भी है कि अगर हम कुछ स्पॉन्सर्ड करते हैं जिसमें बच्चों को स्वैग्स मिलते हैं, बच्चे बहुत अच्छे से पार्टिसिपेशन करते हैं। बट या एज वी ग्रोड, हमको पता चला कि वी वर जस्ट डूइंग मार्केटिंग ऑफ दिस बिग टेक कंपनीज, जो हमको डाटा भी नहीं देती थी बाद में, क्योंकि ऑब्वियस बात
Hmm.
है, हमको डाटा बिल्ड करना है, तो वो डाटा भी शेयर नहीं करते थे। वी वर जस्ट, उन्हीं के लिंक्स होते थे, हम उन्हीं के लिंक्स पे रजिस्टर कराते थे। तो मेरे को अल्टीमेटली ये रियलाइज हुआ कि यार एक बिजनेस मॉडल तो नहीं बन सकता।
Hmm.
देन वी स्टार्टेड डूइंग सम इंडिपेंडेंट इवेंट्स, लाइक लाइक दिस, द वन वी आर डूइंग। अब इसमें भी जो इवेंट्स होते हैं उसके अंदर अगर हम, कोई गूगल माइक्रोसॉफ्ट या अमेजोन का बंदा आता है, ऑब्वियसली वी गेट ऑडियंस विच इज मोर देन 100 to 150
Hmm.
लाइव ज्वाइनिंग लाइव। बट हाँ, एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में बच्चे भी कम इंटरेस्टेड होते हैं, तो दीज इन एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप वाले इवेंट्स तो मैं खुद भी करता हूँ, बिकॉज दिस इज माई पैशन, आई वांट टू नेटवर्क एंड लर्न फ्रॉम पीपल लाइक यू।
Hmm.
तो दिस इज वन ऑफ द थिंग। एंड हाँ, उसके बाद हम भी प्लेटफॉर्म बना रहे हैं, लाइक एक वेबसाइट बना रहे हैं, वी हैव फ्यू इंटर्न्स, सम यूएक्स डेवलपर्स व्हिच आर वर्किंग ऑन आवर प्लेटफॉर्म, जिसमें वी, मतलब हम तीन चार चीजें टारगेट कर रहे हैं। वन इज दैट इवेंट रजिस्ट्रेशन, वी यूज्ड थर्ड पार्टी टूल्स फॉर इवेंट रजिस्ट्रेशन। तो हम
Hmm.
जो डाटा है वो खुद अपने प्लेटफॉर्म पे कलेक्ट करें, तो उसके लिए वेब डेवलपर्स हैं, एंड ट्राइंग टू ओपनिंग मोर चैप्टर्स, like GDSC, which you may have heard, कि हम और चैप्टर्स खोलें अपने डिफरेंट कॉलेजेस में जिससे हमारी आउटरीच बढ़े. एंड
Mm-hmm.
इवेंट्स तो कर ही रहे हैं इंडिपेंडेंस वीकली. एंड ऑल्सो आई एम अ फुल टाइम सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर ऑल्सो राइट नाउ. तो
Oh,
मैं
wow.
I want to transition into building my something own. हाँ, but we did
Hmm.
my our first paid initiative वो ये था कि हम ना एक पाइथन बूट कैंप किया. एक जो इंस्ट्रक्टर था वो गूगल से था एंड वन वाज फ्रॉम इंट्विट एंड विद द पाइथन बूट कैंप ऑन
Mm-hmm.
अ पार्टली बेसिस की 1/3 हो जाएगा जो भी हमारा रेवेन्यू होगा. एंड हाँ अच्छा
Hmm.
रहा. एंड वी पोस्टेड 5 डे पाइथन बूट कैंप था एंड वी प्राइस्ड इट एट 99 and we got good audience like 270 ने पे किया एज अ फर्स्ट पेड इनिशिएटिव. काफी अच्छा रिस्पांस था. बट हाँ वो हमने कैसे
Offline?
अचीव किया. क्या चीज.
Was it online, offline?
इट्स ऑल ऑनलाइन. ऑनलाइन.
Oh, कैसे
वो
अचीव किया?
ऑनलाइन था. वो अचीव हमने ऐसे किया कि वी डिड अ ह्यूज a lot of email marketing. There is a platform called Substack, if you know, a newsletter
Hmm.
platform.
Hmm.
So till then, we had around 150,000 emails,
Hmm.
the student emails which we collected from our past events,
Hmm.
be it from 2-3 years. जितने भी हमने I maintain a data set of
Yeah.
इवेंट्स जो भी हमारे बच्चे हमारे इवेंट्स में विच गेट्स इंक्रीज होता जाता है. तो वो 1.5 लाख सब्सक्राइबर आई इम्पोर्टेड ऑन सबस्टैक. एंड उस इनिशिएटिव की 2-3 बार हमने 1.5 लाख को ईमेल कर दी. एंड ऑब्वियसली उसके बाद हम बैन हो गए उस प्लेटफॉर्म से. सबस्टैक बैंड अस. एंड
Hmm.
इनके बैंड अस लिटरली मेरे जितने भी 2-3 अकाउंट से दे बैंड अस ऑल. लाइक मे
Hmm.
बी SoarX के जितने मतलब. एंड इवन इफ आई रिक्वेस्ट देम नाउ कि revive our account or
Hmm.
whatever, they don't do. Maybe they have IP banned or whatever I think they have done. So they don't revive. So this is one of the things like. And WhatsApp we have around 10,000 in the groups and channels, and a few bunch of 1,500 around on Discord.
Hmm.
तो वो करते थे. तो दैट वाज अ पेड इनिशिएटिव जब हमने सक्सेस कर लिया. बट वी गॉट स्टक्ड अबाउट दैट कि उसके बाद मार्केटिंग कैसे करें. तो दैट्स
Hmm.
व्हाई मे बी वी
Substack
डिस्कस
आप तो कहीं और से भी भेज सकते हो ना? How did Substack like how is
फ्री था.
Substack differentiated? अच्छा, free.
फ्री था. 1.5 लाख ईमेल्स फॉर फ्री.
Hmm.
3-4 बार भेज दी मतलब. It was free of cost. So no other. I researched a lot of email marketing platforms, but none of them is free. So
Hmm.
I
So
requested
Substack पे you can
SCS.
launch.
Substack पे we can import subscribers.
अच्छा, and newsletter है kind of.
हाँ न्यूज़लेटर है लाइक a lot of people still use it प्लेसमेंट
Mhm.
रिसोर्सेज के लिए. बट आई थिंक
Okay.
मैंने एक्सटेंसिवली यूज कर लिया उसको कि मैंने अपने सारे के सारे सब्सक्राइबर इंपोर्ट कर दिए के बारे में. मे बी
Hmm.
दे वर्क इन अ वे कि हमारा एक न्यूज़लेटर अपना हैंडल बनाओ एंड देन
And people
उसको
will
सर्कुलेट
subscribe.
करो. हाँ जो ऑर्गेनिकली उनके प्लेटफॉर्म पे जाके सब्सक्राइब होंगे उनको
Hmm.
फिर वो ऑर्गेनिक मानेंगे. बट एक इंपोर्ट फीचर भी है वहाँ पे by which
Hmm.
I imported the subscriber. तो import किया तो हाँ मतलब import ही किया मोस्टली. एंड
Hmm.
स्टिल आई सेंड द लिंक कम्युनिटी में. तो भेज दिया मैंने लिंक कि भाई those who are not and want to receive these kind of emails from us
Hmm.
for future events आप सब्सक्राइब कर लो. बट हाँ मोस्टली तो import ही था वो. A few
Hmm.
of them may have subscribed. So that's why they banned us.
Okay.
I even tried Amazon SCS कि I may pay a little कि email marketing के लिए मैं पे कर दूं for our paid initiatives.
Hmm. Hmm.
बट हाँ उनको आई एक्सप्लेन्ड माय बिजनेस मॉडल. SCS में ना अप्रूवल होता है. डोमेन अप्रूव कर लिया ईमेल अप्रूव करा दी. बट हाँ प्रोडक्शन एक्सेस के लिए वो एक हमको रिक्वेस्ट करनी पड़ती है प्रोडक्शन एक्सेस. अभी हमारे पास सर्वर एक्सेस है कि हम
Yeah.
soarx.tech वाले डोमेन वाली जो ईमेल्स है ना हमारे डोमेन की
Hmm.
जो जितने भी ईमेल होंगी उनको हम भेज सकते हैं. एंड दैट्स दो वो भी लिमिटेड है.
Hmm.
200 पर डे आई थिंक लिमिट होती है उसकी भी. बट हाँ फॉर प्रोडक्शन एक्सेस फॉर आउटसाइड ईमेल्स वी नीड एक्सेस जो हमको रिक्वेस्ट करना पड़ता है. रिक्वेस्ट मैंने किया एंड दे डिनाइड इट. मे बी दे सेड कि आपका लाइक वो कि दे यू में पॉल्यूट आर प्लेटफॉर्म ऐसा कुछ उन्होंने रिप्लाई था. मे बी बड़ा सा रिप्लाई था उसका. कंसाइज वर्जन में बता रहा हूँ आपको. तो
Interesting. Yeah, fun.
हाँ ये सब चैलेंज वी आर फेसिंग. इफ यू मे बी आफ्टर द सेशन ऑल्सो इफ यू कैन we can discuss if you can help in any of these
Sure,
maybe.
definitely. We can get on a call.
Yeah, so ये था बस. हाँ आई एम स्टार्टिंग. मैं उड़ाऊंगा तो नहीं, मैं फुकरेबाजी नहीं करूंगा. हाँ 10 से 15 घंटे जरूर स्टार्टअप करूंगा. उसमें जितनी इन्वेस्टमेंट चाहिए होगी केयरफुली इन्वेस्ट करूंगा डे बाय डे. 1 करोड़ को
Got it. So,
दैट विल
मतलब,
बी माय.
yeah, when especially when you ask this question, the true passions will emerge. मतलब कैसे है, बहुत सारे लोग जॉब पैसे के लिए करते हैं कि just because मुझे पैसा मिल रहा है. And let's say if you would have said this answer, and then it was more like you're not passionate about coding. It's more about startup. You want to start something of your own, and that overall is your passion game. And it's not just coding. मतलब coding बस job के लिए कर रहे हो so that पैसा ऐसा आए. So that truly draws out people's passion. For example, some लोग, कुछ लोग बोलते हैं जो let's say data analyst है, वो बोलते हैं मैं travel करूंगा. I'll just travel all across the world and things like that. So that question is like a trick question. It draws out true passions of people. And again, the people who are not passionate about what the role is, then we don't hire them. So, so it depends. Couple of questions and things that we ask them.
cool. This was a good one I think.
Yeah.
uh, any any tips on कि डिजाइन कैसे करते हो आप अपने मे बी प्लेटफॉर्म को प्रोडक्ट को जब आप न्यू बनाते हो. तो व्हाट इज द मेंटालिटी लाइक before this question I would say how you named the app beep and उसके पीछे क्या मेंटालिटी है. एक ब्रांड कम्युनिकेट कैसे करेगा ऑडियंस के साथ. हाउ डू यू डिसाइड.
So, just off the record, wanted to ask how long do we have until the podcast?
It's 1 hour. We can wind up in 2 3 maybe 1 2 questions more I think if you're short of time.
Yeah. Yeah. So your question was what is why Beep, and though
Yeah.
particularly हमारा platform initially was called EventBeep. And then जब हमने event ticketing platform किया था, and then we built different platforms, ठीक है, which is more about student specific, and then we wanted to make a brand. And event wasn't that relevant because हम internship भी कर रहे थे, job भी कर रहे थे. Events is one small part of things. तो हमने उधर से event हटा दिया and make it simple Beep. So that's why Beep. And goal is, I mean, it's that's something we wanted it to be sounding something very deep and easy to remember and pronounce. So that's why Beep. And what was the other set of question that you had? Design, I
how
think.
will how will a brand communicate like वेबसाइट कैसी लगेगी. डिजाइन लैंग्वेज होती है ना एक ब्रांड की.
इतना सब हमने ध्यान नहीं दिया जब हम, आई मीन ओवरऑल इट्स फाइन, बट ओवरऑल द ओनली थिंग दैट स्टूडेंट्स केयर अबाउट इज यार व्हाट इज इट सॉल्विंग, हेल्प कर रहा है कि नहीं. मुझे नहीं फर्क पड़ता कैसा दिख रहा है ये वेबसाइट. इफ इट्स गेटिंग मी जॉब बस हो गया ना. आई डोंट नीड इट फॉर एनीथिंग एल्स. सो I didn't pay much attention, and over the period, I mean, although I love design, I love like अच्छे से उसको दिखना चाहिए. But overall, when it comes to business, what matters is money. People will pay money when it gets the job done. They will pay a premium if the brand looks really good. They will pay like more if it feels very authentic. So वो, that is next step. तो initial step पे I wouldn't, especially when I started इतना, मतलब I myself did like a lot of designs and videos and सारी चीजें making it sound really cool. इम्पैक्ट आता है बट लॉन्ग टर्म मुझे दिखा कि इतना भी एकदम फैंसी ऐप बना दो बट अगर उसको वैल्यू नहीं है तो वो लोग यूज वैसे भी नहीं करेंगे. तो फोकस ऑन वैल्यू फर्स्ट, डिजाइन सेकंड मे बी. इफ यू हैव बैंडविड्थ देन डिजाइन पे डालो.
कूल. एक रैपिड फायर राउंड कर लेते हैं मे बी 4 5 क्वेश्चंस फास्ट एंड देन आई थिंक वी कैन एंड द सेशन एज वी आर लॉन्ग हो रहा है काफी.
श्योर.
Any audio books or movies which you suggest, which you की personal life या professional life में जो best एक पढ़नी चाहिए, which you read? Any suggestions on
हाँ
that?
जी, बहुत सारे। I mean, the only reason that whatever I am today is large part is audiobook. First one that I really changed my life was Ultimate Goal Setting Program by Brian Tracy. So there's an audiobook with that. Second is How to Win Friends and Influence People. It is not about friends, it's more about life, how to. Third, I would recommend is How to Win 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So that's another thing that really shaped my life. So I would say these three are like foundational. These are principles and science, not like podcast and सब में लोग अपना अपना ज्ञान देते हैं. So but
Hmm.
these are like things basics will never change. So that's what those are.
Any hobbies or passions which you follow outside of your startup, which you do?
हाँ, I love sports. I do adventure, mountaineering करता हूँ, ice climbing, rock climbing, bouldering. I play tennis. I play tennis every day. So I play a lot of sports, football, cricket, badminton, table tennis, golf. तो हाँ, बहुत सारी चीज़ें. More like adventurous and travel, extreme adventure. Like I would do mountain biking. I would do kayaking. So that's something that I love.
अगर आप बीप बीप ना बनाते तो और कौन से बिजनेसेस आप करते?
और कौन से बिजनेसेस मैं करता, बहुत सारे एरिया। आई हैव लाइक अ लिस्ट ऑफ एटलीस्ट 10 to 15 बिजनेसेस दैट आई वुड वांट टू बिल्ड इन द नेक्स्ट लेट्स से 10 to 15 years। तो बहुत सारी चीजें करनी है। One, I really want to build something in consumer products, consumer tech, which is more like manufacturing related. That's one. Second, मेरे को sports tech startup करना है, something into sports. That's something that I'm really passionate about. Third, I want to get into weapons manufacturing also. That's another. Space tech में भी करना है। So हाँ, बहुत सारी चीजें करनी है। So yeah, those are some of the things I really want to get into.
Do you believe in work life balance?
नहीं, I mean, anything substantial can't be achieved with like a work-life balance because and it's more वो तब आता है जब तुम्हें मजा नहीं आता तुम्हारे काम में। It's like काम है, मुझे ये काम काम लगता ही नहीं। And I work like 20, I love it, and that's the vision and future that I've seen for myself. So you get for sure burned out, तुम अगर 12 महीने एक ही चीज कर रहे हो। So I take breaks. I take like a month-long break. I don't take breaks until today Sunday. We still talk. So and I'm still in office and we're working. So ऐसा there is like no breaks, but I take like a month-long break and like just completely cut off from work. But I'm मजा आ रहा है. Like that's something. This is the future that I've seen for myself. So it doesn't feel like work. So I don't need balance. I like do everything for this.
Uh, any mindset while approaching an investor or while having a meeting with investor negotiating the deals?
Negotiating the deals. क्या FOMO ही है। I think overall it's like कि और भी investors है, हम round close कर रहे हैं, ये generate करो। Second, I would say क्या, I mean, it's like more about your business. If you have like good traction and metrics, you have the leverage. If you do not, then the investor has leverage. As simple as that. तुम्हारे numbers बहुत अच्छे हैं, बहुत grow कर रहे हो, सही जा रहे हो, तो you have the front foot. If not, then it's you're on the other side of the table. So yeah.
One last question is essential qualities you see in a founder like before starting company कौन कौन सी qualities होनी ही चाहिए?
Good one. One thing I think to start off with, यार, see, startup is like mastery over the world. मतलब दुनिया कब्जा करनी है। ठीक है, before that, before you get on that journey, one thing that you really need to do is अपने आप पे कब्जा करना है। Mastering, self mastery, which is how am I as a person the best. So that is very important. In that personal mastery में two, three areas that I think needs to be worked upon. Number one is, mm, yeah, one thing is कि worst case scenario thinking. मतलब it's like तुम पहले से ही प्रिपेयर रहो फॉर एवरीथिंग दैट कैन गो रॉन्ग विल गो रॉन्ग. कंपनी बंद पड़ेगी, जेल जाओगे, जीरो पैसे होंगे, लोन उठाओगे, 10 लोग चिल्ला रहे सिर पे, and I am the, like, my family needs me but I'm still not there, and everything that can go wrong would go wrong. पहले से ही प्रिपेयर रखो, कुछ चलेगा नहीं, आई विल लूज मनी मोर देन आई गेट इट बिफोर स्टार्टिंग, because पहले से ही prepare हो, and then be like कि no matter what comes I'll still not give up, I'll build and I am going to make sure that is मैं करके दिखाऊंगा. तो ये सारा प्रिपरेशन पहले कर लो, बिकॉज जब वो होता है ना, यू आर नॉट इन दैट माइंडसेट टू लाइक मेक योरसेल्फ रेडी फॉर थिंग्स. तो दैट्स नंबर वन. सेकंड इज योर हैबिट्स एज अ पर्सन. हार्ड वर्क, डिसिप्लिन, हैबिट्स बनाना, मतलब बहुत अच्छी हैबिट्स दैट आर गोइंग टू हेल्प यू. जैसे आई प्ले टेनिस एवरी सिंगल डे, आई राइट गोल्स, plan my day for 5 years, 7 years, 2 years, 1 year, every single day. I wake up on time every single day. एंड हेल्थ वाइज चीजें, एंड दोज आर हैबिट्स. मतलब कैसा है, हैबिट्स आर समथिंग्स व्हिच आर रियली गोइंग टू सेव यू बहुत ज्यादा मेंटल ट्रॉमा. जैसे हर रोज कुछ चीजें होती हैं, ठीक है, बट यार तुम्हारी जो हेल्थ है, तुम्हारा जो मेंटल पीस है, वो सब के लिए टाइम होना चाहिए फॉर श्योर. सो आई वेक अप 6 o'clock, मेडिटेट, विजुअलाइज, राइट गोल्स, एंड अब ये सेकंड नेचर हो गया. आई डोंट नीड टू पुट एफर्ट्स कि यार मैं कैसे उठूंगा, कैसे हो पाएगा, एंड देन रोज. सो आई हैव डेवलप्ड दैट हैबिट्स, सो दैट इज आउट ऑफ द पिक्चर. अब वो मुझे उस पर ध्यान देना ही नहीं पड़ता, वो हो जाता है. तो वो डेवलप करना इनिशियली बहुत अच्छा है, अगर तुम अच्छे से डेवलप करोगे. बट देन इफ यू आर लाइक पार्टिंग एंड बस घूमने जा रहे हो ये वो, तो उससे वो हैबिट्स डेवलप नहीं होती, एंड काम पे फोकस नहीं बनता. सो वो पहले सेट करना, विच इज गुड हैबिट्स, डेवलपिंग देम इनिशियली, सो दैट हेल्थ, एंड आई एम लाइक फिट एंड एनर्जेटिक मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम, बिकॉज मेरे वो हैबिट्स बहुत अच्छे लगे हुए हैं सुबह के एंड रात के बिफोर स्लीपिंग. So setting it up really well before you start off in this journey, and यार persistence. Everything would go wrong, everything will go wrong. तो मैं, it's not easy, it is torture, it is trauma, it is too much of work, but you have to find a way to make it fun. It's more thought process, and the third thing I would say is thoughts, control over thoughts, because सेम चीज लेट्स से विद अस हैपेंस, व्हिच इज हमारा सारा टेक चला गया, ठीक है, टेक बंद हो गया, कोड लेके चला गया बंदा, एंड सेम थिंग हैपेंस टू अदर कंपनी, अदर फाउंडर विल लूज हिज माइंड, व्हाट द फक, गाली है, गलौज, सारी चीजें, एंड स्ट्रेस. बट मैंने चिल, ठीक है, क्या ही होगा. सो इट्स मोर अबाउट माइंडसेट, हाउ डू यू थिंक अबाउट दैट सेम सिचुएशन, which will happen only with control of thoughts. How will that happen? You do visualization, you do meditation. तुम्हें जब जो सोचना है तब वो तुम सोच सकते हो, वो ability. It is like super power, to be honest. सुनने में बहुत easy ये लग रहा है, but it's very hard to accomplish. And it happens with like daily meditation and visualization. तो वो सारी चीजें पहले करना before you get into this is very important. नहीं तो you will become insane. You will just give up very soon. So that I would say is work on it before you start on this journey.
Cool. If I can, if you have time, can we ask like ये सब चीजें accomplish कैसे करते हो? Like मतलब any few things जो आप रोज करते हो, like habits इनको आप बनाते
हाँ जी, मतलब पहले तो ये बुक्स जो मैंने पहले तीन बोले ना, इसमें
हो?
मोस्ट ऑफ द थिंग्स दैट आई हैव सेड, व्हिच इज अल्टीमेट गोल प्रोग्राम बाय ब्रायन ट्रेसी, 7 हैबिट्स ऑफ हाईली इफेक्टिव पीपल. इसमें बहुत अच्छे से कवर्ड है हाउ यू कैन बी हैप्पी मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम. एंड again, the whole reason that you're doing anything is to be happy. And the biggest discovery that I had before even starting in this journey is you can always be happy. कुछ अचीव करके ही हैप्पी बनना इज यूजलेस. तुम्हारे माइंड, इट्स मोर ऑफ अ माइंडसेट गेम रादर देन कुछ होने के बाद मैं खुश होऊंगा, वैसा कुछ नहीं है. तो दैट आई रियलाइज वेरी सून. सो आई मीन आई एम हैप्पी टू टेल यू कि 98% of this whole journey I was like happy, and no matter I learned things or not, मजा आया करते वक्त. So that's something I'm really proud of. तो वो उससे तुम्हें समझेगा. अब how to do it, and good habits that I do again, waking up on time, the clock. Second, I do visualize, which is 5 साल बाद मेरी लाइफ कैसे दिख रही है मुझे, मैं वो सोचता हूँ. हाँ, क्या क्या चीजें मैं कर रहा हूँ, हाउ डज द कंपनी लुक, विच इज विजन, विच इज व्हाट लीडर्स हैव, हाउ डज द कंपनी गोइंग टू लुक. हम लोग इतना बड़े हैं, इतने सही रेवेन्यूज कर रहे हैं, उसके लिए हमें क्या क्या चीजें करनी पड़ी, ब्रेकिंग देम डाउन. So it gives me like a vision of what we are going to build. So I like very focus उसमें आ जाता है. Then I write goals. I write 10 goals that I want to achieve in the next 3 to 5 years. Not task. Task नहीं लिखता हूँ मैं कि मुझे आज um, कचरा डालने जाना है. Things like that. वो सब नहीं. It is more a vision. कि 3 years 5 years में क्या क्या goals मुझे achieve करने हैं. And then I go play tennis. उसके बाद I'll rest and food and then go to office. I go early. अभी and it's सच बताऊँ तो मतलब अभी का time is very different than how I started when I started. When I started ये सब इतना सब नहीं था. There was no work-life balance. 24/7 I was working, driving. सुबह 6 बजे से काम चालू कर देता था मैं. अब now when I have like a 60 people team members, I have थोड़ा peace of mind कि हाँ, I can spend some time. It just sort of pushes me work harder. So that's how I achieve. And once I reach early, I plan my day क्या क्या चीजें करूँगा, कर लेंगे. वही.
Cool. So that's end from my side. Thanks for coming, and
Thank
I
you.
learned a lot. And hope to meet you soon also.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
cool. So we can end the live stream. Thank you all for joining.